What's up, besties? We're about to dive deep into the ultimate workplace showdown, Gen Z versus boomer bosses. Think of it as the Avengers Civil War, but instead of superpowers, we've got Slack versus email, mental health days versus back in my day rants, and a never-ending struggle to prove we're not just lazy TikTok addicts. If you're a Gen Zer dealing with old-school bosses who think texting is unprofessional, or a boomer boss who can't figure out why these kids won't pick up the phone, buckle up. This speech is for you. Ready? Let's go. We've all heard the stories. Gen Z at work, with our phones glued to our hands, wanting instant feedback, questioning everything from the dress code to the boss's motivational posters. Meanwhile, older managers are shaking their heads like, what even is happening? This generational culture clash is more dramatic than a reality TV show. And guess what? It's not going away anytime soon. So let's unpack it. Let's start with the biggie, texting versus emails. We say texting is more efficient. Just get to the point already, right? But older colleagues label it as unprofessional. Meanwhile, they're over there drafting emails with "to whom it may concern" and paragraphs longer than a college essay. Here's the tea. Everyone thinks their way is best. But does it really matter if the message gets delivered and the work gets done? The real conflict is about comfort zones. Boomer bosses find comfort in the old protocols, Gen Z in the speed of memes and emojis. Solution: meet halfway. Instead of ghosting your manager on email, respond quickly, show them you're on it. And if you're a boomer boss, maybe chill with the 5-paragraph essay. We're all about bullet points and clarity. We watched all that and said, why should we follow a professional code that might be part of the problem? Gen Z sees authenticity and transparency as the new professional. If I can convey something in 10 words via text, why hide it behind 300 words in an email? Why wear a stuffy suit if it doesn't affect my ability to do my job? Efficiency, authenticity, and mental well-being rank higher than dress codes and formalities. And that's a tough pill for some older folks to swallow. But it's not just a buzzword to us, it's real life. We want jobs that align with our values: sustainability, inclusivity, mental health. We see the world's problems and feel this sense of responsibility to make a difference. Traditional corporate structures often respond with, "This is how it's always been, so get with the program." Cue the friction. Reality check: purpose-driven work isn't a fad. If anything, it's the future. Companies that adapt and integrate real, meaningful missions into their operations will attract and keep talent. Everyone else, good luck, because Gen Z will exit stage left as soon as the next opportunity arises. We're the generation that openly talks about therapy, medication, anxiety, and depression. We've seen burnout destroy lives, so we're not about to sign up for the same. Hence, mental health days. This concept baffles some boomer bosses who came from a grit your teeth and grind era. They might say, back in my day, we worked with the flu. But guess what? Times change, and we know that pushing mental health to the side eventually bites you back, hard. When you have healthy, balanced employees, you have better work outcomes. It's not just some fluffy feel-good perk. And if your workplace doesn't get that, well, turnover's about to become their new best friend. We want inclusivity. Racial, gender, neurodiversity, LGBTQ+, the whole package. We also hate those strict hierarchies where you can't speak to the CEO unless you're the CFO. Gen Z grew up on the internet, where we could tweet our idols directly. That directness shapes our expectations at work. Boomer bosses, on the other hand, often grew up in a more rigid chain of command environment. They might interpret our directness as disrespect. We see it as efficiency and empowerment. Let's cut bosses some slack for a second. They grew up in an era where job loyalty was the gold standard. You worked in one company for decades, moved up the ladder, got your pension, and lived happily ever after. They might not get why we job hop or demand quick promotions or question the status quo. It's not because we're lazy or entitled, despite the stereotypes. It's because the world is changing fast. We're used to instant everything. So if a job doesn't meet our needs or values, we bounce. No apology. Now, here's the harsh stat. 60% of Gen Z employees are getting axed within months. Employers claim it's a lack of initiative. We might see it differently. Maybe it's a lack of mentorship or a toxic work environment that doesn't encourage growth. The truth might lie somewhere in the middle. Sure, some Gen Zers might not be bringing their A game or expecting too much too soon, but also, a lot of companies aren't providing the support or clear direction we need. Key point, we gotta meet in the middle. Gen Z needs to step up, show consistency, and handle criticism. Managers need to guide, communicate clearly, and be open to innovation. So how do we fix the generational gap? Let's get practical. Mentorship programs. Pair a Gen Z with a Boomer or Gen X mentor. Learning is a two-way street. Tech skills meet years of experience, empathy meets resilience. Open forum meetings. Ditch the boss talks, everyone else listens vibe. Make roundtables where everyone's voice carries weight. Flexible communication tools. Find the sweet spot between texting and emailing. Maybe a Slack channel that's casual but effective. Value alignment. Encourage employees to share what they care about. Charity work, sustainability, mental health. Incorporate that into the workplace. Hey Gen Z, let's talk strategy. Tone matters. Whether it's a text, an email, or a face-to-face, keep it respectful. Passion is cool. Sarcasm can come off differently in the workplace. Initiative. Don't wait to be told what to do. Ask questions, offer ideas, volunteer for tasks. Show you're invested. Follow through. If you say you'll do something, do it. Prove we're as efficient as we claim to be. These little adjustments can go a long way toward impressing the old guard without sacrificing who we are. Now, if you're a boomer boss or an older manager tuning in, here's your cheat sheet. Listen actively. If a Gen Z staffer suggests a new approach, don't dismiss it because it's not how it's done. Set clear expectations. Vague goals or "you'll figure it out" statements lead to confusion. Spell it out and watch us nail it. We're digital natives. Let us streamline tasks with new tools. We'll save time and sanity. At the end of the day, it's not about who's right, but how we can all be effective together. Work shouldn't feel like a prison sentence. Gen Z is vocal about needing time off, flexible schedules, and support for mental health. If we don't find it, we'll peace out. That's not a threat, it's just how it is. And guess what? Even older workers benefit from these changes. A mentally healthy workplace is good for everyone. The old mentality of "leave your problems at home" is outdated. We can't just flip a switch on anxiety or depression. Empathy goes a long way in employee retention and overall productivity. A workplace war can actually turn into a win-win if we harness the best of both worlds. We bring fresh perspectives, tech savvy, and a passion for social responsibility. Older generations bring wisdom, experience, and proven strategies. Instead of butting heads, let's combine forces. Imagine the potential if we stopped labeling each other as outdated or entitled and started building synergy. Yeah, synergy. It's not just a buzzword if we do it right. All right, friends, time to wrap this up. If you're Gen Z, own your strengths, your digital intuition, your desire for purpose, your willingness to question norms, but also commit to learning from those who've paved the way. If you're a boomer boss, recognize the future of your company rests on how well you manage and integrate new talent. Loosen up the rigid structures, embrace new communication styles, and let's all create a workplace culture where everyone thrives. Because at the end of the day, we want the same thing: success, fulfillment, and a place where we can be ourselves. Let's stop making it a battle of generations and start making it a collaboration of minds. That, my friends, is how we end the workplace wars and start building a better future together.